It's Mrs. Briggs here with Module 1, Lesson 22's Deep Dive. You will need your reading notebook. We will use the vocabulary section today, and you need your book, Why Do Leaves Change Color? Okay, let's start by looking at two definitions for the meaning for the word survive. So two different meanings for the same word, survive. And then we're going to choose which meaning best fits the word survive in our book, Why Do Leaves Change Color? Okay, so our two choices today for definitions for survive, we have to remain living and growing, or to live or exist longer than or past the end of. So which one would work best with our book, Why Do Leaves Change Color, and the definition of survive? Let's see here. I think we should use the first one. To remain living and growing. As we've been talking about different things living and growing in Why Do Leaves Change Color. So this definition of the word survive, to remain living and growing, best fits the text. We're learning about how trees survive or keep living each winter every year. The definition about continuing to live and grow fits best with this text. Not test, text. So pretend that is an X. So we'll go with the first definition today. In your vocabulary notebook, we are going to illustrate or draw how a living being in nature prepares to survive winter. So what could you draw for that? Well, let's think of some living things, so like animals or plants, even people. How do those things prepare or get ready to survive or remain living during winter? What are some things they need to do? I will draw an example picture. So again, this is going to be in your vocabulary section of your notebook. So I'm thinking of birds and what they do when it starts to get colder and the days get shorter. They start to fly south for the winter. Yep, so they're flying to warmer places. And whenever I see birds in the sky flying to warmer places, these are my birds, I see them in this shape. What shape do we see them flying in? It's the letter V, right? So I'm going to do my best. I'm no Miss Schreiner, but I do like to try. So here are my birds. They are flying. And I'm going to draw, let's see here. What else should I add? I have some grass on the ground. Grass. And maybe, let's see here, it's fall, right? So maybe I'll draw something that shows that it's fall. Maybe they're flying above a little pumpkin patch. Here are my little pumpkins. I'll give them a little stem. Beep, beep, beep. How else do I know it's fall? Maybe I'll draw some trees changing color. Some trees. Now I'm making them small because these birds are flying up above. So they're kind of far away up in the sky. Maybe I want to make my trees, since it's fall, I'll add some fall colors. Maybe some yellow, red, orange. There's my tree. Okay, so I have some birds flying south for winter. I'm going to write a sentence underneath here. So I'm going to highlight the spot where I'm going to write. I'm going to write a sentence describing my picture because someone who looks at this might not realize that these are, in fact, birds flying south for the winter. So I need to write something to explain that. What could I write? Well, I did draw birds, so I should write something about birds. Birds survive. Oh yeah, we have to use the word survive in our description here. We actually call this a caption, sneak peek, because I'm going to talk about that in a second. Birds survive the winter by, let's use that word that we learned in How Do You Know It's Fall. It starts with an M. Migrating. Birds survive the winter by migrating to warmer places. Okay, so there is what I already said is called a caption. So my words underneath the picture describing what the picture is called a caption, and that is a type of text feature. So your job right now is to pause the video and draw or illustrate living beings preparing for winter. So you could do birds. I did birds, so maybe you want to pick something else. You could draw squirrels and how they prepare for winter. You can draw a tree and how it prepares for winter. You can check in your Why Do Leaves Change Color book to find out some information on how trees prepare for winter to survive winter. We have some background knowledge on what squirrels and other animals do, specifically with different food and how they prepare to survive for winter. So draw a picture in your vocabulary section and then add a description or a caption underneath your picture so that when your teacher or your friends see your work, they know exactly what the picture is showing. When you're done, you can unpause and continue. So a caption is a short explanation under a picture. Sometimes it's to the side of a picture, so somewhere near the picture that gives information about what is in the picture. For example, we have a picture of a crayon here. And underneath the crayon, it tells us what that picture is. A crayon is a tool that is used for drawing and coloring. Oh, so it's not candy corn. It's a crayon. I know that because the caption tells me what it is. Okay, so we just looked at the word survive. Let's add in another word. This word is called, or we say usual. Repeat after me. Usual. Great. So here's the meaning of usual. Most common or expected. Can you write a sentence about fall using the word usual? What could we write? Well, here are 3 examples for you. Birds have a hard time finding their usual food when snow covers the bushes. Usual meaning their most common or expected food. They have a hard time finding the food that they usually eat or the common food that they eat when snow covers the bushes. Our next sentence says, in fall, leaves change from their usual color. We see them as green so often, that is their most common color, but then in fall, they change from their usual color. Not as common anymore, not their expected colors. Oh, and we can also change usual to usually. Usually, warm fall temperatures begin to fall in winter. That means they get lower, which means it gets colder. Okay, so you are going to add one of these sentences. You could do 2 of them, you could do all 3, or you can write your own into your vocabulary notebook. So underneath your illustration and caption of survive, please choose a sentence to add using the word usual. And you can go ahead and underline the word usual or even circle it in your sentence. So you can choose one of the 3 or you can write your own. So pause the video to complete that task. Again, you're writing a sentence using the word usual. And we're coming in for a landing here. I know you've all been working on this very hard and you're doing your best, and so have your other friends and classmates too. So you're going to share your illustration of the meaning of the word survive with a friend. Because I'm sure you worked really hard on your illustration. I'll scroll back up to show you. So you drew a picture, an illustration of something preparing for winter so that they can survive the winter. Share your beautiful artwork with someone else. That is your end of the deep dive task. Okay? Some other things that we talked about are that plants and animals prepare to survive winter every year. Not just after a big disaster. It's every year they prepare. They know, the weather's getting colder. It's going to snow. We know what's going to happen. We need to prepare to be able to survive. We also illustrated how plants and animals survive winter. You could have drawn a tree and what they do to prepare for winter, or any animals, squirrel, birds, whatever you chose. And then our last one, we know that these changes are the usual way that plants and animals prepare to adapt and change each year. So each year we see leaves changing color. We know that the leaves fall off the trees. And maybe this was new to you, but now we know that that helps the trees survive winter. Pretty cool. Again, your tasks for this deep dive, you had a few here. Number 1, illustrate, draw a picture of a living being in nature preparing to survive winter. That was your first task, but then you also needed to add a caption. So make sure you have a caption or a description of the picture underneath your illustration. Your second task was to write a sentence using the word usual. You can choose any of the 3 sentences that you see on the screen, or you can write your own. And then your third task was to share your picture, your illustration with someone. Share your hard work. Okay, great job today. Thank you for doing your best, and have a wonderful rest of your day.